Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, back with another video. Of course, we're going to talk about Yves BISSOUMA, and Brighton chief Barber has said the club is really open at selling or open to selling these players, Yves BISSOUMA and Tariq Lamptey, if the right bids come in. And he says it's not going to be any problem for them to sell their players in this summer because it is not negative at all. I have flu, I have cough, so my voice is a little bit jumbled up, but we shall move at that pace. Welcome back, people. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cossy, and of course, do not forget to smash the like button. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Never forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter. It is Cossy19. Of course, video is brought to you by 1xBet. They bring you the best, the best odds in terms of match baiting and all things. Use promo code Cossy Media. You'll be able to win lots and lots of prizes, and you could also redeem up to $130 just in bonuses by using my promo code. That is how expensive I am, and that is how rewarding I can be. But anyway, let us get into the news. We shall discuss BISSOUMA in the first part of the video, and in the last part of the video we shall discuss Martin Odegaard, because Arsenal are apparently waiting for Real Madrid to recruit a new manager and see if the player will actually be made available. So let's start off with links from the update from BISSOUMA, and this is the Brighton chief saying, "I don't see it as a negative at all." He told The Athletic, "The more big clubs are interested in our players, the more we are doing right. So I'm delighted with that. We know some of our best players aren't going to be with us forever, and we are, and if the right offer comes in along, it's gonna be it has to be the right offer." And it says, and they want to leave, they can leave, they can go. So that is it. I just want to read it at a very slow pace so that we make sense of it. He says, "I don't see it as a negative at all." That's what he told The Athletic. And he says, "The more big clubs are interested in our players, the more we are doing right. So I'm delighted with that. We know some of our best players aren't going to be with us forever, and if the right offer comes along, and it has to be the right offer, they will have to and says, and they want to leave, they can go." That's according to the Brighton chief Barbers. And says, if we've got players leaving, then we've got backup internally, and we can go out into the transfer market. We are always looking ahead. We are always trying to scout the best young players and bring them into our squad or loan them out. It is really important. It's a really important part of what we do. So that's according to Brighton chief Barbers. He says he knows most of their best players, many of their best players, are never gonna be with the club eternity. For eternity. And he says if they want to leave, they can go. However, it has to be for the right offer. That is where the point is. Of course, there are a couple of interesting points in what he said to The Athletic. First and foremost, I think they can go. I think that is, if they want to go, they can go. That is a big transfer update for us, because in most cases we are interested in players who either want to stay, like the likes of Housem Owa. He stayed at Lyon last season because he wanted to stay, apparently. But I think this is an easy deal, people. This is a very, very easy deal. And according to Chris Whitley, we saw this yesterday. He said Arsenal are keen on the player. The player wants to join the club as well. And Brighton are now willing to sell. They've said, you want to go, you want to leave, it's okay, you can leave. So I think for me, the only part of this deal remaining is Arsenal making a formal contact with Brighton. Of course, there are reports that Arsenal need to sell players before they buy, and Fabrizio today has confirmed that it's either Arsenal are going to move on players in the first weeks, in the next days. So we have the likes of Granit Xhaka, the likes of Torreira and Matteo Guendouzi closer to an exit from Arsenal, or we could have an injection of close to £100 million from the Crankies. I want to believe the first part of the story. I think we shall sell our players and fund our own transfers, then the Cronkies will either help us from there or they'll actually not help us. But for me, and all the Arsenal fans that are interested in Yves Bissouma, this is the easiest deal we are ever gonna do. It's the easiest. First and foremost, it's a priority area that you need a central midfielder. Second of all, Xhaka is leaving the club. You need a possible replacement. You have a player, who you adore a lot, who you love a lot. He's available. He wants to join. The club wants to sell him. And I think the right offer, and I think that is where Arsenal get most transfers wrong. Can we make the right offer? Can we get the right table, the right bid on the table? I don't want to see Arsenal bidding 15 million, 16 million for Christ's sake for Yves Bissouma. That's a deal that we have to just get out of our deep slumber and pay that money. 30 million pounds, 35 million pounds, that is money that's not negotiable, honestly. For the quality of Bissouma and whatever we can get out of him as a player, that money is not negotiable. Let me know what you think about this story down in the comments. Like I said, whenever you comment, you'll get a like on your comment. I'll press a heart and then I'll give you an instant reply. Big up to everybody who always gets engaged in the chat, and I promise I'll be more active in the chat whenever the video premiere finishes. Of course, if we are to look ahead, it's Martin Odegaard. It's the other piece of news around. Arsenal are apparently going to wait for Real Madrid to confirm their next manager. After that, they will see whether Odegaard is available, because they still believe he is their first option. Now, this is a little bit crazy, because I think if Madrid taking Conte, he might retain Odegaard, because I think Conte has worked with Paulo Dybala before, if I'm not really mistaken. And I think if you have a manager, a new manager like Antonio Conte, who doesn't have anything personal negative on Martin Odegaard, I doubt he will sell such a player. According to Fabrizio, Conte has already told Real Madrid what he wants to build at the club, and Madrid are weighing up their options. Are they taking him in, or are they kicking him out? But the only fear I have with this deal is it delays the Emi Buendia deal. That's the only problem. It delays the Emi Buendia deal. It's gonna reach a time when Buendia is more expensive because of the competition, or Norwich can decide after all that we don't want to sell. We don't want to sell because it's time is up. They can decide, just like Leon did to us last summer when Jean-Michel Aulas said, "You know what? This is the deadline. No player will leave and no player will come in beyond this deadline." So waiting for Martin Odegaard is fine because Arteta appreciates the player, Edu appreciates the player. But the question is, what happens after that? What if Martin Odegaard what if his saga drags through the summer and Emi Buendia is no longer available? Who do we go for? Alex and Maxim? That would be really crazy. But anyway, people, get involved in the comment section and tell me what you think about these stories. For me, I'm just excited about Bissouma. Very excited. I mean, he's a very athletic player in that midfield for Brighton. I think he's their best player this season, or at least one of their best players this season has been Tariq Lamptey. And I think he's a player that really fit in well at Arsenal. Available, Brighton willing to sell, the player willing to join, Arsenal have interest, but is it the money? Why can't we do our deals early enough? That's a question I'll leave to you to answer down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you in the next one.